the different parts of us and accept them. And again, when we accept and respect and honor the journey of the soul, it's hard to carry all this weight. Look how much it has to carry, and it's so little. It's heavy. And then when we get tired of carrying it, we'll start to peel the layers and peel them. And at first it might seem uncomfortable. I'm exposing something. We might feel shy. So you don't expose it to everybody. The first person you can expose it to is yourself by writing in a diary. Or you might expose it to somebody that you really, 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 really trust, will never tell anybody no matter what. Yeah.
And we can accept that because there is a genuine feelings and genuine behavior.
Authentic.
So, yes, and then the people will not...
Before
no,
was
sure.
her. Okay, all right, good.
Mataji, as you said that there are parts of us that are imperfect.
That parts of us that survival methods are not who we are, so they're all fixes. So this part always feels still, you're not seeing me, the deeper me. So they're not imperfect. They're confused and struggling parts that need love and attention, okay? So I just wanted to clarify that because, yeah. So there are parts of us that we don't like. There are parts of us that we resist and we push away, and they're important parts of us. Go ahead.
So as you said that we sometimes don't like those parts, but then there is a contradictory thought that we feel that, okay, I also need to work harder. I know that there are these imperfections that I have, but I need to work harder for my family or for Krishna. But then if I set a goal for myself, sometimes we are not able to achieve that. Okay. And then we start hating ourselves that we can't do anything.
Yes.
So how do we accept it?
These parts fight with each other. I'm so bad. No, I'm not. Look how much I can do. I'm so bad. We fight with these parts, and that's a distraction. We are not what we do or what we have. And we can have goals. And sometimes we reach our goals, and sometimes there are impediments. But that doesn't mean I'm a bad person because I didn't make my goal. It just means I didn't make my goal. That's all it means. But we've got a mind, meaning-making mind, that makes so many meanings about, oh, I'm bad, I didn't do that, they're better than me, comparing, despairing, analyzing, analysis, paralysis. We need some compassion. It ain't easy to be a soul in a human machine. So we do our best. We do our best to accept the parts of us. Dear Lord, help me to accept the things I cannot change, like my parents and the way I was brought up. Help me to change the things I can. What can I do now? And the wisdom to know the difference. That's a prayer, and it's a prayer of an Alcoholics Anonymous, or it's a parents of adult children of alcoholics, but it's a prayer for all of us. Help me to accept the things I cannot change. I can't change the past. Help me to change the things I can. What can I do now despite the past I had, despite my mistakes? What can I do right now? Beating myself up over the mistakes I made isn't helping me, it's discouraging me, and then I don't want to do anything, and then I beat myself up more, and then I quit. So, what can I do? And let me know the wisdom between the two. that there are certain things that happened, and I can't change what happened, but I can change my perception about that. And changing our perception changes our life. So I gave you this perception, and then you can see what you do with it to change your life. Because if I perceive that this is good and this is bad, that's going to be my experience. If I perceive that these are all parts that have been trying to help me and help me to survive, I don't have to hate any of them. But can I use them? Can I work hard? You learned how to be a workaholic. You learned how to work hard. I learned how to be a workaholic at the age of 8. Is that a bad thing? Not exactly, but if it's all I know how to do, by the time I'm 40, 45, I'm a maniac. Because I don't know how to do anything else but work hard, and then I'm working faster and faster and harder and stressing myself more and more and getting more frustrated. So whatever we've learned to do, it's not bad, it's just not everything. If we only know one way how to dance, if somebody else dances differently, we might be stepping on each other's toes, right? So how can I learn how to dance with this part and this part and this part and this part? How can I learn how to dance and use those parts? Not abuse those parts, but use them in service. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay. This is a pretty deep topic, actually, but I figured I'd show it to you. Let's hear from some other ladies what you heard, what you saw, what you got. Go ahead. There you go. That's a good microphone. Put it close. Yeah.
Sure. So when we get to know about the second last part of ours, do we change it or do we just accept it?
It's a combination of accepting, loving, and understanding it. And when you accept and love and understand it, you can heal some of the pain of that part. And when it heals, it transforms into something a little bit different. It may still be there, but it won't be bleeding to death. It will be a little healed. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Let's hear from some other ladies, okay? Haribo.
So basically I had to ask that all these things were about knowing ourselves, right? And we were talking about relationships. So
Yeah.
this would definitely help us to know ourselves, and we
Yes.
would also understand other person's perspective as well. But
Yes.
how would that other person would understand us? Like, we are knowing ourselves, but
Yes.
how will he or she know
Yes, yes.
about us?
Well, when we understand ourselves, then we can communicate to another person how we're feeling and what we're needing and help them to understand because we understand. But if we don't understand ourselves, we can't communicate that to them, and we might get mad if they don't understand them, and we're also really mad at ourselves for not understanding. So as we understand ourselves, we can learn to hear another person and be with them. And then we can share, this is how I feel about this. This is what I need in this moment. And share it clearly, and then they'll understand it. Not expecting them to understand, but maybe providing, and maybe they still can't understand. Maybe they come from a different culture, and maybe they come from a culture that's, carnal. What do you call the? What do they call them? people who eat humans, what do they call them? Cannibals, right. I was thinking carnivorous. Cannibals. They're not going to maybe understand, but we can maybe understand them. They were brought up in that culture, and that's what they eat. And, maybe I won't be hanging out with them. Maybe I won't be trying to get them to understand. But maybe there's someone closer, and maybe they can understand, and maybe I can understand them. And if somebody can't understand, then, we may not want to be hanging around them too much. We'll learn who resonates with us rather than just trying to get everybody to love and accept us. Does that make sense? We'll find out who resonates on a deeper level, and then that relationship will be a little deeper. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. And one more thing, that
Yes.
the fifth part, which is, suppose we just try to understand that this is how we are, the fifth part or the fourth part. But wouldn't the world think that we are being a little too self-centric and just being ourselves or something like that?
Well, we can always be self-centered, or we can be self-aware. Self-centered is, hey, this is how I am, accept it or not. This is just the way I am. This is my karma, so accept it. That's a different attitude. But if I'm more in the self-awareness, you could say, I'm a little sensitive, and so, that doesn't exactly work for me. I'm not able to do what you're able to do. Exactly. Why not? Why can't you do it? I'm not you, and I'm not able to do it, but it's nice that you can do it. I'm just not able to do that. And we can be okay for who we are and what we can and what we can't do. We can be okay with ourselves. This took me decades, so it won't take you decades if you start now, just to be curious. What part is talking? What do they need? What do they want? Where did that come from? What happened to me? Just being curious. Being self-aware helps us to understand our machinery. Now, I bet you, all of you understand how to work your cell phones better than you understand how to operate your own human machine. So is that selfish, understanding your cell phone? Is that selfish? This is a machine. We got a body, we got a mind, we got internal organs, we've got emotions. If we don't know how to understand this and manage it, we're going to be vomiting our emotions on other people, neglecting our body in the name of not being selfish. This is a gift. This body's a gift Krishna gave us. How can we use it? That's intelligent. That's not selfish. He understands how to use this machine. If he didn't understand how to use this machine, it would be pretty useless for him to be standing here and trying to do what he's doing now, because he understands the machine. Is that selfish? That's important. Otherwise, he couldn't do this. We're servants. If we don't understand the machinery, how are we able to serve in joyful consciousness? Does that make sense? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. So my question here is, so there are so deep and darkest secret that you have about yourself, and maybe some bad part which had happened in your life, or some situations which are there.
Yes.
And how do we accept those? And now after getting into Krishna consciousness, yes, it gives us a positive sign to come over it, but how can you just accept it and get healed over it, and just I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I hear you. It's not just about accepting it. If something really bad happened to us when we're a child, we may need therapy. We may need somebody who has a deeper understanding of those kind of aspects, who can help us to understand and heal those parts of us in very special ways. Not everybody knows how to do that. So there's nothing wrong with, going and getting support to understand certain parts of us that may be particularly, what should I say, traumatized. Does that make sense? And we don't just accept, well, I'm traumatized, so that's tough. You're just going to have to accept that, and I'm just going to be this way because I'm traumatized. What can I do? What can I do now? I can't change that happened to me. What can I do now to reconcile and to understand and to deepen my connection and to, deepen my maturity and ability to manage this traumatized part of me? This is often the traumatized part that we don't even know exactly about. We might know something, but we don't even know all of the feelings of the trauma of that child. So we may need support to do that, and a friend can't necessarily support us. We may need professional support, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's quite helpful, actually. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any other thoughts, questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Where are you? There you are. Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to ask, you gave us this concept that we have constantly, maybe for years, been in this mode of survival where we put on a face.
Survive, yes.
Yeah.
We're surviving, yes.
So in the process of that, we sometimes develop maybe healthy or unhealthy coping mechanisms where we
Yes.
tend to do things. So how do we differentiate whether those things are coping mechanisms or if they're actually what we truly are and we're trying to showcase that? Like, how do we differentiate if that is something we need to undo or to accept in our life?
Mostly around this age that you all are at, most of it's coping mechanisms. Some of the coping mechanisms look good, like working hard. That looked really good. That helped me a lot. But it was a coping mechanism to survive, for me to get my mother's love. Look at, I got all these good grades, and it looks good and it works for a while, but it starts to tire you out and you get stressed, and then you can't do anything but work. You can't even relax and have fun, and so it starts to become dysfunctional. So just like when the tree is little, we might put a fence around the tree, However, when the tree trunk grows bigger, the fence that protected the tree when it was young will start cutting into the bark of the tree. I've actually seen this happen. Cutting into the bark, it's going to kill the tree. Now we have to remove the fence and help it to grow in another way. So generally, most of what we've got around the age of 20 to 30, most of it is coping mechanisms, and some of them are helpful, and some of them are temporarily helpful. People pleasing, it can be helpful, it can keep you out of conflicts, but then, well, what about me? I have an opinion. Why do I have to always do what you want? What about me? I have an opinion too. So that's when you start seeing that there's something that I want to adjust and heal. So there's nothing wrong with our coping mechanisms, and they are not the answer to our existential grief and separation from Krishna. They are not the answer. They are temporary quick fixes. And quick fixes don't satisfy the soul. They give some temporary relief from some pain. Oh, I'm such a bad person, let me cover that over. Okay, I feel some immediate relief. Quick fix. But then, I gotta carry this big thing around all the time. I feel suffocated. Yeah, you are. So, just be aware and come to, see when you're feeling burdened, exhausted, or suffocated, there's something that's not working. And it's not that it's bad, It's just not working anymore, and what is it, and what can I do now? That's different. Make it simple. But the judgment is what really kills us. The shame and the judgment, oh, I'm so bad, or they're better, or I can't believe I have this bad part of me, and what's wrong with me, and what's taking me so long? All that stuff makes it harder. Did I answer your question? Yeah. I'm noticing the time, it's 4:01. I can be here longer. I just want to honor your time if you need to go somewhere. Or if you want to ask more questions, it's fine with me. Okay, go ahead. Where are you? Raise your hand. Okay, thank you. If you can maybe stand up and yeah, put it much closer, yeah, and talk a little slower.
So I have like we know like there's like one most important topic regarding this kind of relationship. Like, trust is also very important role in this.
So, wait, somehow start again. Go ahead.
Alright. Trust also plays a very important role in this.
Trust. Yes.
So I have faced few scenes where the third person says a very wrong decision about the person, like, oh, you should not be very this close. I mean, you should not be in this friendship, and you should maintain some distance. And as far as you have a very good bond with that particular person, and you just lose it interest, only like one person is saying, and you should just maintain a distance. And I just feel so very confused in the situation. What kind of person who can trust and can make the right decision, make the right decision regarding this?
Okay. So, first of all, you want to trust yourself rather than everybody else. Not that you can't ever listen to anybody. If you're resonating with a person and another person's not resonating with that person, it doesn't mean that you can't be friends with this person and can't be friends with this person. You just wouldn't be doing things all together. We do have to recognize that boundaries, this is something we don't necessarily talk about in Krishna consciousness. Have any of you ever heard of boundaries? Boundaries is the distance at which I can love you and me at the same time. So when there's no boundaries and I'm a people pleaser, I just do everything you want me to do because I want you to love me, and if I don't do everything you don't love me. But that's a very dependent relationship. That's a little part of me trying to get my love from somebody else because I don't feel it inside of me. And that's not a very clear boundary. So that's going to be, it might be an okay relationship for a while. I've had many of those relationships. In the long run, this part of me needs to be able to grow and honor itself. So I'm not leaning on, clinging on other people all the time. Not that I don't ask for support, but I'm not needy and clinging. If I'm needy and clinging, I better pay attention to this part of me. Does that make sense? It needs something and it's crying out and it's trying to get it out here. But nobody out here can fill a hole I have inside of myself. That's my responsibility to heal that. And then I can hold love and I don't have to grab it from outside of me. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to ask what to do when we
Yeah,
are
put it
just-
really close so I can hear you. That really helps me a lot. Thank
Okay.
you.
So what to do when we are just tired of pretending to be perfect all the time, and then just we start hating ourselves that no, I'm not doing this perfectly, I'm not doing this perfectly. I just want to, like, we have a particular routine, and even one of that thing is just misplaced or misdone or anything, we just start hating ourselves that I didn't do this, I didn't
Okay.
do that.
Perfectionism, wanting to be perfect, and perfectionism can be a cover for shame. If I feel so bad and insecure and shameful about myself, or if my parents shamed me a lot, or if my parents were shamed and became perfectionists, I may carry some of those same habits of being perfect. This is perfect, but this is not who we are. Who we are is simple and pure already. There's nothing we have to do to be this. Krishna made us this way. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to do things nicely and doing things meticulously. However, when we can't or when we don't for whatever reason, we don't have to make that mean that I'm bad. It just means, oh, I didn't do it as meticulously as I would have liked to do it. You see, there's a big difference between identifying with the perfection, that because I did it perfect, I'm perfect, or because I didn't do it perfect, now I'm imperfect and bad. That meaning and that identification with those activities as who I am, that's what causes the problem. But if I can see what I do is what I do, and sometimes it's really meticulous and sometimes it's not, and I did the best I could and that's what I did, and I can accept that without adding extra meaning that I'm so bad, boy, what a relief. Huh? So just notice, you might have that tendency for perfectionism from your parents or from, how you were treated as a child. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't make who you are. So you can do it, but don't make it mean that you're perfect or not perfect. It's just that you like to do things meticulously. And when you don't, sometimes, so what? So what? Not a big deal. Does that make sense? Takes something to get there, though, because we're emotionally attached to this person here and wanting to be perfect. I have a definition